Yay, hello. Today we are climbing Mount Takao. Finally, I've wanted to do this for such a long time. Mount Takao is a very popular mountain to climb. It's about an hour outside of Tokyo, and just left the base camp down there where you could, if you're a complete pussy, take a cable car up the mountain, but we're not doing that because we're hardcore. This is really cool so far, my goodness. I am not in hiking gear. I'm wearing like my stripy Muji stuff. But fuck it, this trail 1 is supposed to be paved and stuff. There's supposed to be a monkey park here as well. So I look forward to that. And this is fun. This is just the start of trail 1. It looks fucking incredible. Now trail 1 is the easiest of the trails up the mountain. And while me and my companion, who desperately did not want to be on camera, are no cable car riding weaklings, you know, our bodies were not equipped to handle any of the other routes, some of which supposedly you need a fucking machete to get through. It is like 32 degrees today or something, but it really doesn't feel like it. Maybe because, I don't know, the mountain air. I mean, Mount Takao is supposed to be 600 meters tall, so it's not even that tall, and we have not even started hardly. But it already feels like the sort of, I don't know, maybe it's the sort of just the forest humidity, the fact that there's little sun or something, everything just feels very cool. So even though it's like a really hot day, it's really not too bad walking up this. So far, granted we've done like 100 meters. Even though this was the paved one, I am from the city. I'm not used to all this green stuff, you know. Throughout this video you'll notice I was over and over very impressed with nature up here. Ooh, pretty. Jesus, look at the, oh my goodness. This is straight out of a fucking Ghibli movie. These signs pointing out all the animals and insects you can find here serve as warnings about more intense natural encounters coming up, by the way. There will be some Steve Irwin shit a bit later in the video. This is a crazy fucking ass tree. I was born and raised in nature, as you can hear, you know. Alright, so we were there just now. Took like a little corner. And now it just keeps going. Oh my goodness, there's like no break. After one of these corners, a bit higher up, we saw, as David Attenborough would have said, one big-ass bird. My goodness, look at that bird. What the hell? Being a city man, I have no idea if that is a rare bird or not, but it looked really cool. It'd be an honor to get shit on by this magnificent thing. I almost called it a person. Did you see that fucking bird? What the fuck? I was going, look at the view, Jesus. This is exhilarating. My only real experience of, I don't know, anything tropical at all has been in zoos and places where they have, you know, those rainforest rooms or whatever, where you can see like moisture dripping from the walls and stuff. This is the very first time I've ever seen anything like this in my tiny little Norwegian life, you know. As you can tell, I'm completely fucking soaked. But as I said, like, it's a very pleasant walk so far. This is like, it's very refreshing, and it's like the breeze is really nice. It's not overly hot, it's just insanely humid. Mount Takao apparently also has lots of connection to the tengu, the yokai of Japanese folklore. That is the inspiration behind the Pokemon Shift Tree. That's my reference point. Yeah, the tengu are supposed to be like guardians of the mountain, kind of. I'll talk more about the tengu a bit later, but they are perhaps best known for being the red-faced emojis with huge noses. Every phone OS seems to have. The mountain has all sorts of spiritual and historical significance. There's a temple a bit further up, to where monks used to travel, and all along the path you can find these statues of different deities and spirits and important people and so on. Oh fuck, okay, it's definitely getting very steep now. Oh look, more bird stuff. Oh, Toby! That's the one we saw. After about an hour or so of sweaty struggles, we reached the first proper sort of stop along the route, which was the cable car station. Pussies. Apparently we are at about 900 feet elevation. What's that in meters? Like 200? Maybe or something? Nah, more than that, like 150 maybe. Like 200? Nah, more than that, like 150 maybe. I think you could see that little spike out there must be Tokyo Skytree. Ha! That's so fucking cool. Now that we're past the cable car, you can sort of tell who took the cable car up here because they're not completely fucking drenched in sweat, you know. Alright, so at this insane viewpoint, we have apparently reached right there. So I guess this is where the monkey park is supposed to be. Oh, there's that. What the fuck, you can have food here as well. That is so cool. Apart from the insane view, there of course are also vending machines and souvenir shops where you can buy Takao specific stuff like tengu masks, merch for this, I suppose, Takao inspired anime, as well as what caught my eye the most, the 4x4 Bigfoot wheel powerful monster truck toy. Another classic of Japanese folklore, that one. And just like the map said, here it is, we've reached the monkey park. It smells horrible. Okay, so I thought that the monkey thing would be like just along the path. Let's see, is it 500? Yeah, 500 for a ticket. It's not too bad. This place was incredible. I mean, you can't really spend another like a 500 yen in a better way, I think. It was lovely. The monkeys seemed to be having a good time and the carers clearly knew what they were doing. They were very friendly and chatty as well. Excuse my terrible Japanese in these clips. I tried my best. The guy I was talking to was very kind and used relatively simple language to explain things. 食べ物はどうやってあげますか？中に。あ、そうなんだ。実際、上の階から見下ろせるので。Oh, okay. That's so cool. Okay, so he said that there's like a better view to see them being fed from up above. So here we go. Whoa. Holy shit, look at this. Oh my goodness. And then the view on top of this. This was definitely worth 500 yen. Goodness. Ketchupはどこ？あそこの山の間のところの。ああ、今こう走ってる。ああ、なるほどね。小さいですね。そうそう、今ジャンプして。わあ、みんなが名前がありますね。そうです。ああ、わあ。超元気ですね。元気です。ねえねえねえ。わあ、たくさんです。5月。はいはいはい。6月。ああ、いや。5月。はいはいはい。Wow. Don't drop things. This was a bit more like a zoo compared to the Monkey Mountain in Kyoto I visited a couple of years ago. But even though these ones were in an enclosure, they really did seem to have a great time. Then we got to see the feeding. Oh, wow.
What? She was holding his hand.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Ah, Jesus Christ, that was incredibly cool. I love seeing monkeys. And the staff were so wonderful and said that my Japanese was good. You know, very nice to hear, even though it's clearly not true. They explained a lot about who the sort of alpha couple was, when the mating season is, how young the youngest ones were. The youngest one was called Ketchup, and they were explaining like the difference. Oh shit, that's a big spider, what the fuck? Ay, that's a huge one. Okay, that's the biggest one I've seen so far, I think. Spiders can go fuck themselves. But that's fucking, what the fuck? Ew. Yeah, no. Fuck that. As I said, if you are up here in Mount Takao, like spending 500 yen on this is definitely worth it. Right outside the monkey park, there was an apparently 450-year-old tree, considered a deity, or kami, as you can tell from the rope tied around it. Because this is what you do in Shintoism, you tie ropes around things that have gods in them. Fun fucking fact, that's also the reason why the highest rank in sumo wrestling awards you a belt that is essentially like one of these Shintoism ropes. Because at that point you are powerful enough to be considered a god in your own right, kind of. Speaking of religion, just around the corner was the beginning of the Buddhist temple grounds of Mount Takao. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. It feels like the amount of these like reactions climbing this mountain have been just too many. I wasn't overreacting though. This place really was insanely cool. These lanterns flanked the road leading all the way to the temples from here on. Something interesting I found out doing research for this, by the way, is that this stone that I just went past when I was there reads Seisho Kindan, which kindly advises people in the temple grounds that killing here is actually forbidden. Just so you know. So reluctantly I had to once again sheathe my katana, Anyway, along the beautiful path we also met this little guy, or big guy, I suppose. Just like casually walking along the trail and then... My goodness, that's a huge one. This is like a nightmare. That's a big one. Wow. Again, coming from Sweden, this was probably 5 times bigger than any crawling thing I'd ever seen, It feels like this creepy bastard was put here as a test of courage or something. For after this came the test of endurance, the never-ending stares of Håkan, who you can see depicted here next to them, in fact. It's not very easy, but it's also not terrible. I thought I would be way more exhausted than I am, after having done pretty much no fucking exercise for 4 months or something. This is Ah, fuck it, it's doable. It's not too bad. There we go. Having conquered the stairs of Håkan, we were greeted by more wonderful nature and also more beautiful imagery of the mysterious tengu spirits. I love that he's holding a QR code on a smartphone. That is amazing.
I noticed that.
Just as the old monks of 1,000 years ago, when they went up Mount Takao to pray, I'm also having a kolbi jagariko butter like potato thing. And they're really good, my goodness. What is it, like 200 feet left to go? So like 100 more, no, maybe like 60 more meters or something up we need to go. Okay, so 5 minutes to the temple, half an hour to the mountain summit. Hey, let's show it. There's apparently been a temple on this mountain since the year 744, which makes this holy site more than 1,000 years older than the United States. As I mentioned, Mount Takao is closely associated with devotion to tengu. They are believed to dwell on sacred mountains, acting as the messengers of the deities and Buddhas to chastise evildoers and protect the good people. There are two types of tengu, one with beaks and one with incredibly phallic noses. The latter is often likened to an experienced mountain warrior who has attained spiritual power through religious training at Mount Takao, while the tengu with a beak is considered to still have more to learn. I guess the beak turns more phallic the wiser and more powerful they become. Needless to say, this temple area was also insanely beautiful and cool and magnificent and, goodness me, made even cooler by the hike you had to do to get here. And it made the thought of these buildings having been built long before modern machines and things even more impressive. Like, how the fuck did they do this? This is so impressive. Seeing the temple grounds from up here is amazing. Fucking stairs though. It feels like we must be getting pretty close now. So this final bit looks a bit like it's not even going up anymore. It's just a kind of a walk through the woods up like 500 meters above sea level. It's really cool because so far walking up here, you've only been able to see like tiny little openings in the foliage. So seeing this, the light up ahead, gives an idea that we're really like, we're close, we're actually here, you know. And then we made it, yay! The top does have the coolest views, for sure. I pity the poor people that had to restock these vending machines. Yay! We did it! See, Mount Takao, wow. As I said, 600 meters is fucking nothing, but I feel like I have achieved something, and I'm not even that exhausted, honestly. Are you exhausted? No. Okay, so I think that's supposed to be Mount Fuji. So you can't see shit. This is perfect timing because my camera is dying. My thing, it's dying. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. My goodness, do I recommend climbing Mount Takao if you are in Tokyo and you have a couple of days. It only takes a day though. But I mean, I guess if you have enough days to do this, including other things. This is not scripted. If you have any suggestions on where I can go around Tokyo or anywhere else, I guess, in Japan, to make this kind of video, then please leave them down below. Again, thank you very much for watching. Thanks especially to my Patreons who helped me buy this microphone and stuff. Hopefully the audio quality has been okay. That's it. Subscribe. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier in the video, shouldn't I? Look at this, my goodness.